guys, it's IlonkaSims here, and I'm back with another speed build. Last time we did a futuristic build. It was very grey and not very happy, so this time I wanted to do something a lot happier and just not so not happy, I guess. Again, I'm building something for someone on Facebook because that seems to be all I'm doing these days. If you want to see me build something, let me know in the comments and I'll see if I can get to it. Anyway, so this one I just went on Google Images and looked at some houses because I didn't really know what to do. But I just took a few concepts and aspects from houses that I saw on Google Images that I liked and put them together and changed them up a little bit to make them work in The Sims, obviously, because there's only so much we can do. But I went with this orange wood. If you've seen my living room build that I uploaded recently, you will probably already know that I love this kind of orange wood. We actually have orange wooden floors back in my house, but they're much like yellowy orange and it's kind of awful. But this kind of very rich orange wood is really nice, I think, and if you combine it with some blue colors, then it looks really good. So the stone you can see on this little wall is a dark blue and not a black. I don't know if you can even tell, but it's dark blue, trust me. Anyways, this is a family home. When I'm recording, I actually don't know yet what I'm going to call it, but if you're watching, this probably has a name and it's on a gallery, and make sure to download it if you like it. But this family home has 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1 upstairs, 1 downstairs. I wanted to fit more bathrooms upstairs, but I just couldn't, so... But it's okay, because the downstairs bathroom is a full bathroom as well. Anyways, it's a very simple modern building, I think. I put it on a foundation because I wanted to make it look a little bit more interesting. I like how you can work with foundations and just put things on certain levels, and then if you put a little room at the front of the back or the back, you can just make it look so much better than without it. I also really wanted to go with this overhanging cantilevered thing on the top, part of the house. But I was looking at it and it just wasn't working for me at all. So you will see in a little bit that we change it. Without it, it still looks good, I think. We end up with... I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing. It's been a while since I started building this, actually. Right, I had this wall that goes like the wall that I have next to the front door that goes up and crosses. I thought that had to be like the longest part of the house, which obviously wasn't working too well with the cantilever part, so I ended up changing it like this. I think is pretty much the main shape of the building. I think I extended a little bit because it was getting a little squished. I think some parts looked like it wouldn't work too well, but in the end I think it looks pretty good. Again, the person I made it for seems to like it, so that's what's most important. I hope some of you like it as well, so that I'm not the only one who does. I went back to see if I liked the cantilevered part more, but it just wasn't working for me. Figuring out what to do with the roof. It's always tricky to figure out what to do with the roof. We put this little balcony at the back, but it's so small that you can barely put anything on it. But I still like it, so... And it's just a little area where you can go and take a fresh breath of air if you're upstairs. We do this little pathway to the front door with the lights next to it, which I really like. I've done it before in a build that I have for my own legacy play. I don't play the game that much actually, but when I do, I play with my legacy family, and they have a house with similar colors and the same kind of, I guess, inspirations a little bit. But here we go on the inside. As you can probably tell from previous builds, I really struggle with figuring out how to do the layout. That's the one thing that sucks about starting from the outside and then looking inside. It's just not always easy, but we will get there in the end, and I think that's what's most important. I considered maybe doing something the other way around, going from the inside to the outside, but then I think the outside would look pretty horrible, so I don't do that. But yeah, this is basically where we have this part of the house will look like this, and then we put a bathroom on the other side, and then a little living area and a very small kind of like reading nook, which I like. It's a little different. I don't think I've ever done a reading nook before, but I think it's really cute. For this inside, I went with a kind of Scandinavian style interior. Not quite, but I tried. If you don't know what a Scandinavian style typically looks like, it's often a lot of whites and very pale woods, which again, like after the last build, having light colors and pale woods is really nice, but I did want to add some color in it, and so I do change it up a little bit at some point, and I add some more color than what you would maybe typically see in a Scandinavian interior, but I think it ends up just looking really nice, and I guess that's what's most important. We put in a pool on the back here, and actually really like the pool area in the end. It's something a little bit different maybe, but I think it looks really nice, and we do a lot of decorations around the pool. Much more than I usually do. I use these huge fountains that I absolutely love on the side here next to the stones that, I mean, if this was real life you could walk on them. And I use these lights from, I think, the outdoor stuff pack. And I sized them up and made kind of a wall so that people that would be living on the other side of a green space, or people that would be walking around in the green space, would not just be able to look into your pool and see whatever you're doing. Like, it's not completely closed off because I don't want it to be. I don't like closing off backyards. It looks a little cramped when you do often. But this way you can still have some privacy, and it gives us some light as well. But here we are working on the kitchen. I changed the kitchen around a little bit. Also the colors. I really wanted to continue the orange wood inside, but since I was going with the Scandinavian style, it wasn't working so well. So I changed it to this initially, and then I ended up going with lighter wood at some point. I can't remember when I changed it, but I changed it at some point. And we go putting like a mirrored splashback behind the stove. I don't know if you like it or not. It's something I've seen other people do as well, and it's a little weird maybe, but it opens up the space a lot and it reflects some of the light, which I think is really nice. And I don't even know what I'm doing. I put in this little bookshelf next to the island counter because I like it. It's an island counter. I don't know if any of you like it, but I seem to do it a lot at least, because it's something that adds a little bit more detail to it. It's a different height and it's a slightly different color, though I think I changed it to a grey in the end to match it, but it's a slightly different color and a different height, and it just adds a little bit of dynamicness to the room. Here you go, changing the colors as I said before I would do, to a lighter wood, which I think looks really nice. And then here we go into our, I would say it's like the main kind of living area. It doesn't have a TV. I have a separate TV area next to the well, actually on the other side of the front door, but this little area has a study nook and then some couches, and just you have the big window so you can look outside and just hang out with people, have a nice talk instead of, I don't know, watching TV like people usually do when there's a TV around. I don't know if anybody else gets really frustrated by that sometimes, but I do. So yeah, here we go, putting in some couches, trying out some different things in terms of putting in kind of a coffee table without really putting in a coffee table, but I ended up going with a coffee table anyways. Put a little bench around in front of the window, which I liked. Use some different carpets to create a more interesting carpet, I think. You might not like it, but again, I do, so. If you don't like it, you can still change it if you like the rest of the house. Put in just a simple dining table, nothing really fancy or really big. Again, it didn't fit with the house to go really big. I also use a lot of greenery in this house. I usually love to use greenery, and after not being able to do any of that in the last build, I really wanted to just go all out in putting in plants. So here we go, putting in, I don't know if I actually already do the bathroom, I don't think I do. Now we put in a little reading nook. It's very, very small, but I don't know, I mean, it's a little weird in The Sims maybe, but if this was real life, I would love a reading nook like that. Just having some bookshelves in a window, a comfy chair to sit on, and then just take your time and read a book or whatever it is that you want to read, a magazine, whatever. Here you go, putting in the other sitting area with the TV. We change it a few times. I considered putting it downstairs, like a kind of a split level, but it wasn't working too well. I also separated all the different kind of areas with the, what are they called? I don't know. The things that you can put above the fences, and then you can still delete the fences, and you have separate rooms. So basically, if you sit in the reading nook and it's a mess in the kitchen, your Sims are not going to be really upset because it's a mess in the kitchen. Because that's one thing that always really frustrates me. When you're sitting there and you have an open plan house and your Sims just complain because something is dirty somewhere, you don't know what it is. But if you have these different rooms, you don't have that issue so much. If something is dirty, you don't notice it by your Sims being really annoyed anywhere they are in the house. But here's our little TV area. This is pretty much what it will be. Put some tables together, and then the glass ones, which I really like actually. I ended up turning some of them around, and it creates a really interesting pattern. It's really nice sometimes to look and see what you can do. Oh my god, I just noticed something. I'm not going to say it, and hopefully nobody else realizes it, but that's really awful. I feel like I have to change that now. Yeah, I really hope nobody sees that. Anyways, we put some of these wooden things on the wall. They're very minimalistic, and again, it's a Scandinavian interior, so there's not too much color in here, but we add some color, I think, with some decorations, which I do really like. But it's very simple, and it doesn't have a lot of personality, I think, but I think you should add that depending on what kind of Sims you have in the house, because it's really hard sometimes to create houses that have a lot of detail in them, because I don't know what kind of Sims will be in there, and sometimes I want to just think like, okay, maybe it's this kind of Sim, but then I'm like, well, I could spend a lot of time and effort into really creating something with a lot of detail, but then again, if you guys want to download it, then you might end up changing it anyways, and I figure having you guys do some of the like personality in the builds makes more sense actually, so that you can do what you want and what fits with your Sims, and that way it just works a lot better, I think. But here we go, putting just some details around the place. Again, using these really small lights from Spade. I really like those lights, just to add some detail lighting, I guess. Also, you don't see it in the video, but after I finished building it, I went in with a sim to change some of the lights, the color or the intensity of the lights, because some places are really bright and some lights are actually really weirdly placed in random places because that's where I put them. But I end up going back and just changing some of them around. But here we are in the bathroom. I actually absolutely love how this turns out, so much so that I end up almost copying it upstairs. But I love the wood and then the stone combination. Putting in these little wall metal sculpture thingies again. And here in the little balcony that I mentioned before, I just put in this couch, and then I think maybe another, yeah, some of these small, I really don't know what to call them actually. I should look at the name someday, but these little kind of couches without a back. And I didn't do too much on the balcony further than that, because there's just not enough space, and let's face it, it's rare for your Sims to use a balcony anyways. I was trying to think about what to do in these bedrooms. I figured I'd put a bed in every room first and then go from there. They're really crappy beds, but those are the only nice beds in the game. We really need some more like good modern looking beds. But this is the master bedroom, and we have like a walk-in closet in here. I seem to do that a lot recently. Also this blue wallpaper I've been using a lot, but it's just really nice. I'm going all over the place trying to figure out what colors I want to use and all that, because bedrooms can be a little tricky these days. Also, if you can hear noise in the background, my mom just started vacuuming, so hopefully it's not too bad. And just the master bedroom is very, very simple. I go back to it to put in a little bit of detail, but it's very, very simple also in the end. But this is the master bedroom. I thought we were starting on the other room, but apparently not. I decided to put in some more things first. And just some simple blinds instead of curtains, because they're much more modern, I think. But here we go into like a girl's bedroom. I don't know if it's like a little girl's bedroom or a teenager's bedroom. It could be either, really. It has a little bit of both of them in it, I think. Anyways, if you have like a teenage girl or a little girl, you can just take out maybe a few things and then it will work for you in the way that you want it to. And here we go, putting in a lot of paintings against the or on the shelves and on the little cabinets that I put next to the bed. It's a really neat trick actually. I love doing these little cabinets next to the bed thing where you can just put some things on it, and I would love this actually in real life. Just have a little hot area next to your bed where you can just put a lot of stuff on. I have way too many things in my room actually looking around. I should really throw out some stuff, but I never can get rid of my things. I don't know if any of you have that problem as well. But I just go in and put in a lot of random things. And I think, like, the way I was looking at it, this is like a girl who's just turned into a teenager, so she still has a lot of her kid stuff, but she wants to get really like, oh, look at me, I'm getting more mature now, so I have some perfume and things like that. But we put in a little desk, because if they're a kid, they still have school, and you have to do your homework, kids. I mean, come on. We all know this. But it's very simple, and because she has this dresser from together. We don't really need any other dresses, so that's good. Anyways, just a little rant, I guess. If any of you saw one of my previous videos, I told you that I was really excited for the announcement the other day. I think if you're watching it as it comes out, it was like 2 days ago. And I was so excited. I was like, yes, an announcement, and it's going to be a really big announcement, and we're going to get like, we all hear about like game packs and expansion packs and all blah blah. And then I saw the announcement and I was like, well, okay, is this all really? A 15-second clip with pretty much just things that we for a big part already knew about. Like the restaurant thing is like old news. We all already, I mean, there was no official announcement about it, sure, and I mean, I love the idea of getting a restaurant pack, but if you keep up with any Sims news and rumors, you will have seen several, and I mean several, things about a restaurant pack coming out, so that was no surprise really. And the kids pack is nice, but it's not that special, so for them to be like, oh my god, we're going to have a big announcement, and then for it to be a 15-second video that really didn't give at least me much news, it was a little disappointing. So that's the thing. I think the big thing is just that if they just put it out, then people would have been so excited, but for them to just first hype it up as being something really big and really awesome, and then it turning out not to be so big and awesome was, you know, kind of a disappointment for a lot of people. Anyways, we are working on like a teen voice room here. I never know what to do in a teen's voice room, because I've never been a teenage boy, you know. But I think it worked out pretty well. I tend to go with a kind of a gamer room, because that seems to be like, if I was a boy, that would be me. So it ends up going with like a pretty fancy computer and then a TV on the wall and a chair a little bit away from it, so that you could play some, I don't know, some console that isn't in The Sims. But I like how it ended up looking, and the blue and orange color that I used on the outside as well on the inside here just looks so nice together. Well, here we are working on the second bathroom in the house. This is the bigger one upstairs with a bath in it. I went with the same style because as I said, I just love the style that I had in the bathroom downstairs, and we just put, I think, a little table and chair here next to the candle, I don't know what to call it, like candle wall divider thing. It's very simple, but it's a bathroom. It's supposed to be simple. It's not supposed to be anything really confusing and busy, I think. I wanted to put those towels somewhere, but they ended up just not fitting. I put some of these planters on the wall, and then I think that's all. I was going around looking around, I suppose, looking at what I could put in. So I put a little chest table here on the landing area, just because I felt like I had to put something there, and I never know what to put in these areas. Like, I could have put in another study, which I considered doing, but figuring that we already had this little study nook downstairs with a desk and a not a laptop, and a PC, and then the little reading nook, I figured going with another study area would be a bit much, so I just put in the chest table. And here we put in a little bit more detail in the master bedroom, as I said I would do. It's not much, and it still lacks personality really, but again, I never, especially master bedrooms, like a kid bedroom, I can easily be like, okay, this is a girl's bedroom, this is a boy's bedroom, very stereotypical, and just going with it, which I kind of hate actually that I do now that I think about it. I don't like using stereotypes, but with a master bedroom it's so much more difficult. We are putting some more details into the pool, because it didn't already have a lot of detail around it. I love putting the turtles on the floor and then putting the lights on them, though. I don't know if anybody else does that, but I guess I'm probably not the only one. The outside area is very simple. I consider putting together this chair and lounge thingy to make a real lounge chair, but because it doesn't work in The Sims. Like, it looks nice, but at the same time, I'm not building this just for it to look nice. I want it to work properly, so I didn't go with it and didn't stick with it. And I just put in this little bench, which is really cute. Put down some tiles around it, and then we go into a lot of landscaping. I thought about putting in this tree that was also in the community area next to it, but I wasn't feeling it. Like, I really love using the plants that are around the house as well, because that makes sense. Then again, it doesn't make sense if you place it in another position in the world, I suppose, but I wasn't feeling this bigger kind of tree. It took up too much, like, it blocked the view from everything, really. You couldn't really see the house, and you couldn't really see if I would put, like, plants and stuff on it unless you would go to a low angle on your camera. So I just ended up going with the palm trees and the... I don't know what these other trees are, actually. Other kind of palm trees. And then just the basic kind of plant thingies that you see in most of the Oasis Springs. So the cacti and the... Actually, I really don't know what to call all these other plants. I'm putting in some lavender to put in some color, and then I think I go in with some just basic daisies as well, just to add a little bit of something in there. Yeah, here we go. Going all around the place and just landscaping. It's a thing, landscaping. I don't know if any of you like doing landscaping, but I actually do. I love the look of most of the plants in The Sims, and as soon as you start putting in also some terrain paint, and then I will put in some rock soon as well, and I think it looks really nice. Also, when I was working on the landscape, I realized that there was no mailbox or rubbish bin outside, so I quickly put those in because I was afraid I'd forget. But we put in the rocks here in this kind of really warm color instead of the normal grey color. Then I think I go in even with these little, I don't know what they're called. They're from the decorations category. They're like garden pebbles or garden rocks or whatever. And I think putting them around, especially if you already use rocks, they look really nice, and they make it look as if that's not just stuff thrown into there. Like the rocks aren't just thrown in randomly, if that makes any sense. But I think I go around just putting in a few more details into the backyard so that it looks a bit more interesting. We put in some of these walls from like shrubbery to block the view from the public area again, so that you can just sit there and eat your barbecue food in peace. And we go in the first few screenshots from the outside, and we work on to the inside. Looking up, because this is a double height area. I don't know if you noticed before, but I really like having the double height area. The beautiful, beautiful bottom as well. As always, if there's something you'd like to see me build, let me know and I will see if I can get to it. And make sure to check the description if you want to download this build. But that's it for me. I will talk to you next time. Bye guys!